If you live in a high populated area, you look at the 100,000 per 100,000 people. You also look at the poverty level. People that have the tightest gun control, that have the lowest amount of people that own firearms, have the highest gun crimes. Hey guys, so I have done some vlogs and I just haven't posted them because I'm really not even sure what I want to post. You know, and then you hear about these shootings and, you know, it's sad and, you know, but people are going to say what they want to say, even though I still stand my ground that guns are not the problem. It's the person behind the gun that is the problem. And the FBI has even said that they have gotten every one of these, they have gotten tipped off and never looked into it. So, you know, a gun is nothing but a tool that these people have used to kill somebody. You know, it's not the gun's fault. It is the person behind the gun that's killing people. And, you know, people just don't pay attention to that. They want to run their mouths and scream gun control. Well, last night I did a little bit of digging, and the states that have the tightest gun control have the highest gun crime. And the states that have the highest gun ownership have the lowest crime rate. So, you know, you need to really pay attention to that before you start yelling gun control. If you live in a state that has high crime and your state has tighter gun control and less people own guns, then, you know, maybe you need to look into that, because I live in a state that we are free to own our guns. We do not have to register our guns. When you go to purchase a gun, you do have to show photo ID. They do a background check, and there may be a waiting period. It depends on what comes up on your background check. And then after the waiting period, if they see that it's on your whatever's on your background check, if it's okay, then you can go ahead and you can own a firearm. But other than that, we don't have to register our guns. We have an open carry law. You can have your gun with you. It just has to be where people can see it. You cannot hide it underneath your shirt. You cannot hide it in your pants. You can't hide it anywhere. I, on the other hand, if you see my last one, I have a conceal. I can put it in my purse. I can put it in my glove box. I can hide it underneath my seat. I can put it underneath my shirt. I can put it just inside my pants, on my hip. I do that for my own safety. I am a female. I live in a big city. I do go downtown a lot. There have been instances where women have been attacked in parking garages. When I go downtown, that's where I'm at. I'm in a parking garage. And, you know, I am not going to be attacked by somebody, possibly shot, raped, killed, because other people want tighter gun control. So, you know, you can buy mace, you can buy pepper spray, but that's only going to fend them off for a little bit. So, Kentucky's concealed carry is not just for firearms. It's for concealed deadly weapons. A lot of other states is just for handguns. Some of them is for long barrel guns, like a rifle and a handgun. Some of them is just for a gun. Not all of them, and I was looking, and I don't remember even seeing any of them with deadly weapons. I think Kentucky's the only one. I also looked, wherever there is a high poverty level, there is the most crime rate. And the crime rate is between young adults between the 18 and 24. So, people need to think about that too. And this is between a per capita of 100,000 people. And it's also based on population. We have over 309 billion people in the United States alone. We make up over 40% of the population for the whole world. And 2 out of every 3 deaths by gun is suicide. And that's for the whole United States. Also, we are even with motor vehicle deaths with guns. So, why isn't everybody screaming for motor vehicles gun control? You want to scream out for gun control. Well, people are dying just as much in a car accident than they are with guns. I was making a point about guns, and it wasn't to be funny. People might have found it funny or thought it was funny, but it was the truth about how I can leave a gun sitting out. I can leave it out all day long. That gun does not move. You know why? Because I didn't move it. Guns don't move by themselves. And I think some people might take it wrong. But no, I'm not making a joke about it. I'm making a point. Guns don't move on their own. They do not pull the trigger on their own. It has to be the person behind it. Also, they're used in an act of violence. What if some of these mass murders would happen if it would have been just by nothing but a knife? Would we yell for tighter knife control? Would we be forced to give up our knives and use butter knives to cut everything? People are not looking at the big...
What's the end goal? Demoralizing and weakening the once strong America grows the unchecked power of a tiny global elite.
I had to experiment, and it was a learning process. The first part was this subversive activity, disrupting repressive regimes. That was a lot of fun.
Picture. They're only looking at guns because everybody, especially this new generation, wants to look at guns in a bad way because, one, they were in school during most of the Obama years. And Obama is George Soros' puppet who was with Hitler's time, was growing up during Hitler's reign. And that's what Hitler did. Hitler went around. He gun grabbed. He took away the people's rights to bear arms. And when people couldn't protect themselves, then the government completely took over. The United States will never do that. That is our second right. That's our amendment. We have the right to bear as many arms as we want. If I want 25 pistols, I can have 25 pistols. If I want 30 rifles, I can have them. It doesn't matter. If I want an AR-15, I can go get one. If I want to stock one whole bedroom full of ammunition, I have that right. That is in the Second Amendment. Nobody has a right to say, we need tighter gun control. Well, if that's how you feel, then don't go buy one. But I guarantee you, when you get scared, you will call the police, and guess what? They come with guns. They come with tasers. They come with their, what are they called? I think they're called belly sticks. I can't remember what they're called. It's been a long time. And you know what? I am a child of an officer who was shot and killed in the line of duty, and I still don't want gun control. And my dad wouldn't want one either. My dad had a lot of rifles. He had a couple of handguns for work. I don't even think he really would have I don't know that he would have had a handgun had he not been in the line of work he was in. I don't know. I know he liked to hunt, and he had rifles. You know, if people have come from England over here, they had rifles. That's how they hunted. That's how they protected themselves. So, you know, our guns have been here since well over 200 years. And our forefathers put that in the Constitution to keep the government from controlling us. Why do you think no country has ever come over here to fight us, trying to take over? Because they can't. They know they can't. They know that in the United States, their people are allowed to own as many weapons as they want. They, you know, if we have to, we will go out and we will fight with our military here on our own ground. So they won't come over here. You know? There was also, I also looked up, I kept on hearing that Switzerland made their people buy weapons, and I looked that up. That's not true. The truth is that their soldiers, Swiss military, the soldiers bring their rifles home with them. And the boys, from the time they are young, are brought up learning everything about the Swiss military, the militia. And from the ages of 18 to 30, they have to be ready to go and fight at any given time. And so for their, what was it? Per 100 people, 24 guns, rifles, whatever, is owned by 100 people. So there's 24 weapons for one person of the 100 people. And guess what? They have a very, very low crime rate. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. That's what it is in the United States. You look at the statistics, and I'm not saying look at the murder rates, because murder rates are different than gun rates. Gun violence, murder rates. Crime rates can be rape, whatever. We're looking at the handguns. If you live in a high populated area, you look at the 100,000 per 100,000 people. You also look at the poverty level. People that have the tightest gun control, that have the lowest amount of people that own firearms, have the highest gun crimes. The states that don't have the tightest gun laws, that do the abide by the Second Amendment, and even have that in the state constitution, that have the higher ownership of guns, have the lowest gun crime. And so, you know, people that want to sit here and cry and gripe and complain about wanting gun control, you need to think again. I'd hate to be in your shoes because, some states don't even allow concealed carry. It is on a may issue basis. And there are I think 2 or 3 states like that. Here you have to take a test. You have to pass a written test. You have to take a class, a written test, and a on the range test. And on the range, you do 21 shots, and I think you have to. You have to pass 11 other shots you have to hit in order to pass the firing range test. I hit all 21. All in the chest and a couple in the head. And that is how they determine if you're going to get your concealed carry. And then after you get that and you turn all that in, you take it downtown to the sheriff department. Was it sheriff department or police? I don't remember. And then they send it off for a federal background check. If you don't pass it, they tell you what's wrong with it. You fix it, you send it back in. And they are very, very tight and restricted on it. And, that's the way it should be. So these guns don't get in the right hands and the wrong hands. But there are still ways for people that are not supposed to have these guns. They still get them anyway. I was at a gun show a few years ago. It was more than a few years ago, but every year they have a gun show at our convention center, and I've been to a couple of them, and I was just standing there waiting, and I seen this couple, and it was obvious that the guy had been in prison or whatever, and once you've been in prison, you're a felon, you cannot own any handguns, ever. And this guy was with his girl or whatever, and he was telling her what gun. And so one of the vendors said, well, is this gun for you or is it for him? Oh, no, it's for me. No, it was for him, but she was going to put in his name. When we go to purchase a gun here, we kind of do, they do a little bit, they do a background check, but we don't have to register our firearms. So when we buy a gun, they just do a background check, and that's it. I don't think our guns are registered when we do a background check. I mean, I don't care. If your gun's registered and it gets stolen, it's very easy to tell them, hey, this is my gun, it's been registered. But, people need to understand, the people of the Sandy Hook school killings, they're not wanting tighter gun control. So why do some people why do liberals, Democrats, and some of these people who are just on the bandwagon want tighter gun control? I mean, what are you going to defend yourself with? You're going to defend yourself with a broom? You're going to defend yourself with a knife? You don't come to a gunfight with a knife. I tell you that. You're going to defend yourself with your car? That would be vehicular manslaughter. Yeah. I don't believe in gun control. I believe you have the right to bear arms. I believe you have the right for self-defense. And I like to go to the firing range and shoot my weapon. Growing up as a kid, like I said, we had BB guns. My dad had rifles. And, whenever I was making that point on my last video, I could bring my gun outside. It doesn't move. I can bring it in the living room. It still doesn't move. My dad's guns never hopped out of the gun case, we must have really had some lazy guns. The fact of the matter is, the guns are not the problem. The problem is the people. The people are the problem. People need to really think hard, because some of these people are very uninformed, and to me that's really sad. There are people that just jump on the bandwagon. They want to yell, they want safety first. Okay, you want safety first. Safety first is having your weapon to defend yourself. Safety first is not gun control because, somebody has went into a school and shot several people. Safety is being able to own your gun, being able to carry your weapon, and if the need arises, defend yourself. We have, most of our crime happens in the most impoverished area, and it's mainly among gangs, and so they pretty much take their own selves out. But and that heightens during the summer. Even though that we have the West End, our crime rate just isn't that high, because still, Kentucky has a very high rate of people that own guns. How many guns do we own? Kentucky has no idea. They just have an estimate because of how many times people have, called in to buy a gun, or how many concealed carry they have. And even what's even more funny is that this was on the news like a year or so ago, that there are so many people that have concealed carry, they still have not came to pick up their cards. As soon as my husband and I's card was ready to be picked up, we went straight down there. But you cannot have your concealed carry until you have your card in your hand. However, if I'm in the car and for some reason I get pulled over by a cop runs my tags. It's already in his system. Before the cop even comes up to my car, he knows that I have a concealed carry, and he will ask me if I have my weapon on me. And so anyway, we do have a very high rate of people who own guns, and we have a very low rate of gun crime. And like I said, and this is for the whole United States, for every state, the ones that have the lowest gun ownership has the highest crime. And the ages of these people that are using the guns are 18 to 24. These are punk kids that they're in gangs. Louisville, Kentucky has over 101 known gangs. We have a gang that has moved from Chicago, Illinois, now that's here in Louisville. Chicago, Illinois, this gang is nobody to be messing with. However, this was back where they first started showing their face and started doing some things, and it wasn't with guns. This is beating the shit out of people. This is a pregnant woman being attacked through her window with her kids in the car with her. This is our bridge, our walking bridge that was finished to be able to go from Kentucky into Indiana, an old man being beat by these people. This wasn't guns, so you cannot blame everything on guns. The violence is there, and it's not just in guns. I mean, these were packs of 30 and 100 people, and they were attacking in different places. Our city was telling people for Thunder over Louisville, if you have a concealed carry. They had as many police officers. Our jail, our officers carry. We had, shoot, what are they called? I can't think of it. My mind's drawing a blank. Damn brain fog. But we had people from Fort Knox, military. We had them. We had people from out of the city. We had them there. We had people from the jail, off duty. We had, I mean, they were off duty, but they were getting paid off duty pay by the city. We had police officers that were off duty being paid. We had everybody because this was a week before Thunder. People that would normally go weren't going because they were scared that they would get beat up. Didn't stop me and my husband, but I mean, you know, it was just the fact that people were scared because of these gangs. And it wasn't gun related. So, I mean, crime is going to happen, and it's not going to be just by gangs. What would have happened if they would have went into a school and they didn't have a gun? Not everything, not every homicide, suicide, not everything involves guns. Guns are not just to kill other people. You know, that is proof that it is the person on the other side holding the gun that is the person using the gun. The gun is only a tool. That's it. You know, I have had a gun held up to me multiple times. I'm not going to say who, because it's been done by a couple of people. Never scared me. The first time I had a gun, so he kind of quit once, but once the guns were no longer of harm, he tried it again. But then there was somebody else who thought that I would go back with him if he put a gun to my face. And my words were, "Are you going to shoot me? Because if you are, then shoot me. If not, then get that gun out of my face." Well, so since he couldn't strong arm me with a gun, he busted out my driver's side window. So, you know, I can say that it is the person with the gun. It is not the gun. You know, people need to put their words, their money where their mouth is. Because, you know, these kids that are going in, these people that are doing these shootings are having the problems. It's not the gun that has the problem. It's the person with the problem. The gun is only an instrument. I have given people, you know, don't come at me with the gun unless you intend to use it. So, yep. I'm going to leave it at that. So, you guys have a good night. It's probably about time for my husband to come home. And I will see you in the morning.